How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to an episode here on Let's Build Twitter. As always, I'm Ethan, random coder, your favorite underqualified senior software engineer. And as always, if you guys do want access to the private repository for this project, there's a link in the description down below that'll walk you through exactly how to gain access to that. Now, with that being said, let's go ahead and hop into what we're working on today. Today, we're going to go ahead and start working on the front end here, getting the Explorer page set up. We're going to go ahead and make our new interfaces here inside the front end. Get this Explorer page created, all of the different routes and stuff that we need set up. And then we're going to do some refactoring on the search bar here. That way we can go ahead and reuse it at the top of our Explorer page and then kind of see where we go from there. So that being said, y'all, let's go and hop into the code, get to work, and see where we get to today. Today we are starting out inside of our global interfaces here inside of our front end, because we need to go ahead and create all the interfaces for the entities that we created in the last episode. Go ahead and start the export interface. And then we're going to have our trending and topic interface. Inside here, let's just go ahead and make a little bit of space. We're going to have our topic ID. This is, of course, going to be a number. We're going to go ahead and have our trending, trending topic, and then we're going to have country. So where is this being created from, which is a string of our trending topic. And then we'll have content, which is a string of our trending topic. And then we're going to go have our category, which is a string. Hopefully I don't typo any of these. Trending topic. Next we'll have our number of, maybe. There we go. Post, which is a number. Next we'll have our trending topic. And then here we're going to go and have tag line, which is a string. And then finally, trending topic, and then post, which is going to be a post array. Next, let's go and say export interface. This one is going to be a trending news. News. Inside here, we'll have trending news ID, which is of course going to be a number. Make some more space here. We'll have our news title, which is a string. We're going to go and have our news summary, which is a string. Next, we'll have our news last updated, which is going to be a number. That's going to be like how many hours or minutes ago it was. And then news topic, which is going to be a trending topic. Finally, we're going to go and have an export interface. And this one is going to go ahead and be, I don't know why this one is being weird. Did I typo something? Export interface. There we go. And then topic with post. Inside our topic with post, we'll have our topic, which is a trending topic object. We'll have our post, which is a post array. And there we go. Let's go and save this. That looks good. So now we have all of our interfaces brought over. Let's go ahead and start creating the Explorer page and get into refactoring that Discovery Search Bar thing is what it's called. So go and open this guy up. We're going to close out this, go into our pages, go ahead and make the Explorer page.tsx. We'll also go ahead and make the Explorer page .css. Hop into the TSX here. Let's go ahead and say export and default function Explorer page, like so. Let's go and open this up. Inside is going to go ahead and have a return statement. And inside the return, let's go ahead and have a discovery and provider, like so, because we're going to be searching for people. Then we're going to have a div with a class name equal to, and this one's going to go ahead and be explore-page. Inside here, we're going to go and have an empty fragment. And it's going to say explore and top bar, which is going to go and have that search bar component, which is why we need that discovery provider. Then we're also going to have an explore content. We're going to set this up similar to other pages that have different tabs on it. So if you guys remember from the last episode, the top bar has like the search bar has some tabs. You can click through it and go to different pages within Explorer. So that looks good. We'll work on these in future episodes as we get going here. It's going to be like putting puzzle pieces together. So it's going to take a little bit of time. Next, let's go ahead and style this up. So let's hop into the CSS. Inside the CSS, let's simply go and say .explore page. Here we're going to have a width of 100%. Height going to be fit-content. But we're going to have a min height of 100 view height. So VH, there we go. We need to release 100% of the page. Display will be flex. We're going to go ahead and have a flex dash direction and column. Next, we're going to go ahead and say justify content. And this is going to be flex, maybe flex dash start. Next, we're going to go and have align dash items. I'm wondering if my IntelliSense is broken again. We'll see here, center, and then border on the left is going to go ahead and be 1px solid, and found AA B8 C2. And then we're going to basically copy this and do the same thing. So let's go ahead and copy this again. Let me make sure I do this properly. There we go. Copy this guy. And let's go ahead and paste it and do border right. So paste it in. And then let's go ahead and say border right. There we go. Save. Now my IntelliSense is popping up. I don't know why I was being weird, but that should be everything in here for now. Now we need to go ahead and add this into our app.tsx where all of our routing is. And this part's kind of fun because there's a whole bunch of different routes that it can take us to. So let's hop into our app.tsx. Let's come down here. I'm going to go ahead and remove a couple things that we're not using. That's fine. And delete this. Every time I find a file nowadays, I'm just trying to clean it up a little bit here. That way we can get rid of some of those warnings. But if we come down here and come to our routes and to the Explorer, we can see that this just goes to /explore, except that's not really how it works. What we're going to actually go and do is going to have a path here. It's going to be to /explore, and then it has /tabs. And then the first one's for_u. And then the element is going to equal to, and let's go ahead and have our Explore page. Go and bring that in and open that like that. And then now we need to go ahead and make a few more routes. So I'm just going to go ahead and copy these just because I'm a little bit lazy. I don't want to rewrite the Explore page component a million times. And we can save a little bit of typing. So paste that in. So now we're going to have Explore tabs. And then it's going to be trending. Whoops. Trending. Go ahead and paste it in again. Hopefully it doesn't just paste in nothing. Perfect. And then after trending, we're going to go ahead and have news. Go ahead and paste it in again. Now we do that. After for you, or after news, I'm sorry, we're going to go ahead and have sports. Let's go ahead and go below sports. And it might be different for other people as well, because I'm into sports. So that might be why it's sports and stuff like that. Or it could be for everyone. I don't know. And it changed a little bit even since I last did this. So it could be even different later on. But next is entertainment. Okay. And then there's finally one more. Paste it in. After entertainment, we're going to have search. Go ahead and do search. And there might even be more than this that we find later on. Again, I'm not trying to make a 100% perfect clone here of Twitter. I'm just trying to get a bunch of stuff that encompasses it and try to make it look and feel like Twitter. So as I've said a million times, we're not going to hit 100% of every single feature that Twitter has. It's just going to be impossible. And I want to eventually end this series at some point. So it's just not going to be feasible to do everything. But that's going to be all of our links for the Explore page for now. Now what we want to go ahead and do is first make it so whenever we click on the Explore in the navigation bar, it's going to actually take us to the Explore for you, because that's kind of like the main one. So let's go ahead and hop into the navigation component and set that up. Here inside navigation, let's go ahead and find the link to /explore. So now it's going to be Explore and then /tabs /for_u. We also need to come back through inside of this component and actually set it up so that whenever it's active, it's bold and filled in. It does that for all of the components, not just the home. That's just something I have never gotten around to do. So we need to do that eventually. Now we need to go ahead and start doing the refactoring. And this episode might be either really short, or I might add some more code from what was supposed to be the next episode. We'll see here, because we're already cruising through here. Halfway done. We're only at like 10 minutes, which whenever we edit down, it's going to be closer to 8 minutes, 7 minutes, 9 minutes. But I'm going to stop yapping. Now we're going to go ahead and start working on the search components. And this is going to be kind of like a shared component, I think. And I think I put this inside of the components folder or directory. Let me just double check GitHub and see that's where I put it. So I put it in the right place. I was wrong. I did go ahead and put it inside of the features and discovery components. And what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to go ahead and make it says create the Discovery Search component. Yep. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and say Discovery Search / Discovery Search.tsx. And basically all this is I'm going to combine the Discovery Search Bar and the Discovery Search Dropdown, basically Discovery Search.css, because it's kind of unwieldy to use it right now. So let's go ahead and import React from React here. Let's go ahead and say export, whoops, messed up, export const. We also need to go ahead and import the CSS for forget. So import and / Discovery Search.css. And then here we're going to go and say export const Discovery Search, which is a react.fc. And this is going to take in some props. Probably could have made this an interface. Now that I think about it, I'm going to go and say interface because it has a few properties. Discovery, search, and props. And this is going to go ahead and take in a width number. It's going to take in a count, whoops, number, and it's going to take in a location string. Okay, and then I'm just going to go ahead and pass that in instead. So a slight deviation here, but it is what it is. Discovery and search props, okay, equal to an arrow function. Let's go and break this apart. Width, we'll have count, and we'll have location. And let's go ahead and create the arrow function. And let's see what's wrong with this. It just doesn't have a return. That's fine. Cool. So let's go ahead and set up the return really quick. Return. And inside the return, we're going to have a div with a class name equal to discovery-search. And inside of the div, we'll do a little bit of work. But let's just go on top and do a little bit of logic first. We're going to have a const and show drop down, set show and drop down equal to use state. Let's go and bring in use state. It's going to be of type boolean, boolean, and start this out as false. And we're also going to have a const update show drop down is equal to an arrow function that takes in value, and value is a boolean, like so. Here, let's go ahead and say set show dropdown, and that's going to be value. Let's come inside, and we're going to go ahead and have a discovery and search bar. Go and bring that in, and here we're going to say toggle dropdown is going to be equal to update show dropdown, and then we're going to have width is equal to the width that gets passed in, and then we're going to go and have curly braces. It's going to say show drop down, and then here we're going to have our discovery, discovery. If I could type, that'd be cool. Discovery and search dropdown. Inside here, we're going to have toggle dropdown is equal to update show dropdown. We're going to go ahead and set width equal to the width passed in, and count is going to equal to the count. Then location is equal, location is equal to location. I believe the search dropdown I need to go back through and fix because it doesn't take in width. I don't think it takes in location either. So as you can see, it's mad here because it doesn't take in width. We'll fix that in a second. But you can see the idea here. The idea here is that we want to go ahead and combine these. That way we can just use this one discovery search component in places rather than having to bring in the discovery search bar and discovery search dropdown everywhere we want to use this. Now, to be fair, there's only like 2 locations and there might be another location later on that we need to use this in, but it makes our lives a little bit easier. Now let's go and hop into the CSS and do the quick CSS on this. Inside the CSS, let's go ahead and say discovery dash search. Inside, we're just going to say width 100%. We're going to go ahead and have the height as fit dash content, and then finally we have a position is relative. So that's everything inside of this guy. But now if we go back into that component, you can see that's mad at us because this doesn't take in a width, but we put a width in there. So we need to go ahead and go through and actually update that to make it so it actually takes that in. So now let's go ahead and hop into that discovery search bar component. So now here, I'm going to go ahead and come underneath this drop down, or actually I'll probably come above it here. I'm going to have a width, if I could type a width of number. Let's go and add the width number here. So let's come over here to this toggle drop down, go and put a width in there to break that apart. So now in theory, it should stop being mad at us inside the other component. So now we need to go ahead and start making some changes in here. So it says to come down to about line 54. So here where it says active or inactive. So now we're going to go ahead and add a style onto this to go ahead and set the width. So let's come over here, say style equal to an object. So width is going to be backticks. And then we're going to have our $ curly brace. We're going to pass in width there. And we're going to go ahead and put px. And then we're going to come down to about line 62 where our close icon is. We're going to go ahead and make a change here, it seems like. We're going to go ahead and change the color from black over to white, it seems. The width is still going to be 16. I don't know why I have font size and height and width there. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that. Now let's go ahead and update the Discovery Search Bar CSS to, instead of the close icon, I guess the circle around or behind the close icon being white, to be black. So let's go ahead and hop in there. And here we want to go ahead and come down to about line 41. Let's see here. So our clear. So now we're going to go ahead and change this background color to this. We're going to go ahead and make it black like so. So I think it was like a blue color. Now we're going to make it black. And let's also come down to about line 49. So this one, we're also going to go ahead and change this from this color to RGBA. And it's going to be 0, 0, 0, 0.5. Go ahead and make it black and see-through. And now we need to go ahead and hop into the Discovery Search Dropdown component and do the same thing where we went through and updated the props and make it so that it can take in those props. Let's hop in there. So now inside here, we need to go ahead and do the same thing. I'm not sure why this one wasn't mad at us. That's kind of interesting. But above the toggle dropdown, we're going to go ahead and set a width, which is a number. We're going to go ahead and set a count, which is a number. We'll go ahead and set a location, which is a string. Now let's go ahead and bring those into here. So in front of the toggle dropdown, let's go ahead and pass in the width, go ahead and pass in the count and the location. And now we need to go ahead and make some changes here. So whenever we navigate to search, it looks like we need to go ahead and create that. Let's go ahead and come below the const navigate to user profile. Let's go and say const navigate to search. This is something new that gets added whenever we are in the page, the explore page. Have e-react.mouse event on an HTML div element. Okay, do one of these. And here we're going to say e.stop propagation just for good measure. So we're going to say toggle drop down. Drop down. It's going to go ahead and be false. Get rid of that drop down. And we're going to go ahead and navigate. And this is going to be backticks / search. And then here they say question mark q equal to, and then $ curly brace e.current target, and then .id. So that's how Twitter deals with navigating to that search. And we don't have, I spelled target wrong. Try that. That looks better. So now we can go ahead and navigate to the search component. Now we need to come down to about line 40. So here, the Discovery Search dropdown. Let's go ahead and set up the style. Style equal to, and set width. And this is going to be backticks, $ curly brace, width, and then px. Looks good. Next, let's go ahead and come down here. We want to go to the content wrapper. So content wrapper, here we go. So now whenever we click, we want to navigate to the search page. This we're finally going to go ahead and take a look at. So let's go ahead and delete this part. I don't know how long this has actually been here, but we're going to go ahead and put navigate to, to search. I don't ever think we made the search page, so that might be something we need to circle back and do later on, but it is what it is. And now we want to come down to about line 63. So here, instead of just slicing 0, 8, let's go ahead and slice to the number that we passed in, so count. And then now we need to go ahead and come down to about line 69. So right here, the drop down go to. We need to go ahead and check to see if the location, location is not equal to the explore page. So let's go ahead and say explore. Go ahead and open this up, and we'll go ahead and put and. So we don't want to show this part if we're on the explore page. So let's go ahead and now copy this div, get rid of it, and then go ahead and put it up here. So paste it in, make it look pretty, and save it. Looks good. So now that's everything inside this page. So now let's go ahead and save this up. Let's go ahead and hop into the dropdown.css. We're going to go ahead and make some small changes here. Inside the CSS, we're going to go ahead and it says remove line 3. So we're going to get rid of that width there. And then we're going to go ahead and come down here below the height and make some changes. So here we're going to go ahead and say position is going to be absolute. We're going to go ahead and set the top to 100%. Whoops. If I could type 100%. We're going to go ahead and say left is 0. And now we need to go ahead and update the discovery component to use the new discovery search component. So let's go ahead and hop into discovery. So inside our discovery, these are obviously broken. So let's go ahead and fix this. First thing I'm going to go and do is I'm not going to make up props for this one. I'm just going to go ahead and do like this because it is only one property. We're going to go ahead and say, whoops, display and search, which is a Boolean. And then this is going to go ahead and pass in display search. So it's going to break some more things. That's fine. We'll fix them. And then what we're going to go ahead and do is just do some cleanup. So now we don't need this show dropdown and we don't need this either because we're doing all that inside the discovery component itself. We're going to go ahead and I think keep this discovery, but I don't think we need this sticky, or maybe we do. I'm not 100% sure. Let's see. Let me double check the GitHub code here. I know that we obviously don't need this bit. I think we probably keep the sticky, but let me double check GitHub after I delete this to make sure we do in fact keep sticky here. So yes, we are keeping the sticky, but we do want to go ahead and do this. We're going to go ahead and say display search and then we'll go ahead and display that new component that we created. Let's go ahead and do this. I don't know why it wanted to be silly goose. And now we're going to go ahead and have our discovery and search. Inside discovery search, we're going to go and have width on this one. Whoops. Width is equal to 350. We're going to go ahead and say count is equal to 8. Whoops, not 7, 8. And then we're going to go and have location is equal to, and then discovery. Go ahead and close that. And that looks good. Let's go ahead and remove this, remove that. We don't need our use state anymore. So let's go ahead and remove this use state. And then this is just personal preference. I'm going to go ahead and move this above the CSS. I wish that there's probably a way for me to write it to go ahead and import it that way. I might need to look into my NeoVim settings. And then after this, what we want to go and do is we want to come below our sticky here, or not below our sticky, below our display search. And we're going to go ahead and have a div, the class name equal to, and this is going to be discovery. Oops, maybe discovery dash page dash divide, like so. I'm just going to have a page divider div here. Go ahead and save that. Now let's go and hop into the CSS to actually update this discovery page divide. So let's go and hop in there. And then let's go ahead and come below our discovery sticky. We're going to have discovery dash and then page dash divide. I think that's what I called it. Yep. And then here we're going to have a width 100%. We're going to go and have a height, and this is 1px. We're going to go and have a margin of 16px0, and then finally we're going to have a background dash color, and this will be pound and E1, E8, and then ED, like so. And I spelled background incorrectly. Let's go ahead and fix that. That looks better. Now let's go ahead and update the layout page to make sure this component isn't broken and it only shows whenever we're not inside of the Explore page. Let's hop into layout page really quick. So now inside the layout page, there should be an issue with our discovery here. So yep, so discovery now needs to go ahead and take in a location. Or not a location to display. So let's go ahead and say display search is equal to, and inside here we're going to say not location dot path name dot includes, whoops, and then we're going to go ahead and say explore. So if it's on any of the explore page, we're not going to go ahead and show it. And now that's basically everything I had for this episode. It's probably going to be a little bit of a shorter one, but if I go ahead and add on the next part of the next episode, probably going to be way too long. Let's at least go ahead and see if this is still working or not. Let's go ahead and hop in to our browser. Okay, so now if we refresh, oh, it's because I'm on the old Explorer. I was like, what the heck's going on here? So now you can see we have this little page divider. I feel like that should be sticky on the top. I'm not sure what's going on with that. Maybe that's just broken, or I might need to look into that. But if we go ahead and go to Explore now, you can see it goes to Explore for you, and it doesn't have that top bar. I think we might still need a little bit of work where it hides this. I don't remember. We'll see. And if we go ahead and search for people, let's go and search for like summer. You can see that pops up, but also a whole bunch of other people pop up, because if you guys remember in the last episode, we added all that logic. It doesn't seem like this is centered, but I'm sure it is. And I guess if we click off of it, it doesn't go away. Interesting. We need to look into some more logic around that, but that's a bug for a different day. So that's going to go ahead and do it for this episode. It looks like the views are being funky again. I just can't quite get the views to do what I want. I don't know what's going on with them. Now they're counting over here, but not up there. But yeah, views are weird and finicky. I might need to do another refactor of that. Now they come. I think it has to do with the WebSocket or something. I think it's on the front end, not the back end. But I'm rambling and I'm yapping. I'm going to go ahead and wrap the episode up here. If you did enjoy, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Everything helps out here with the YouTube algorithm. And if you do want to see where we start from absolute scratch to get to point now, that's going to be the place in the end card, like right over here. So that being said, y'all, that's been Ethan around Coder. Hope you have a great day, and I'll see you all in the next video.